May the Most High Critical bless us. Okay, so my friend just told me to look at Meek Mills's album cover for his new song called "Expensive Pain" featuring Young Thug, Lil Uzi Vert, and more. See, this is to show you that I'm not playing. Instantly involved already is Freemasonry and witchcraft. But there are people who's there's a video out with this guy. He's yelling at Meek Mill and all that because of the naked pictures. See, they want you to focus on that because the Freemasons know what they're doing, and not only the Freemasons but the initiates of witchcraft. Okay, so before I get into this picture and break down everything you see, because these things are abstract, they're doing it on purpose. Some of these shapes within shapes and pictures within pictures. So, okay, but before you get to point A, I'm gonna have to learn you from point B. So give me 1 second. I realized that my other video about the white versus the dark magic, it went over a lot of people's heads, and a lot of people don't really be trying to figure things out or understand it, or maybe you just genuinely don't, but you're trying. But I can tell by the algorithms that it ain't really doing too much. But it's really cool because I like my little audience. I like to stay below the radar because I am speaking that high truth, man, that the wisdom, the secret wisdom of the ages, as they call it. And it is that way for a reason. See, because if I had a big platform and I was teaching you guys this, 9 times out of 10 I'll be erased. Okay, so all right, I literally showed you the wisdom of the checkerboard chess floor, standing for the light and the dark forces and energies, for light and black magic. Light, the white magic meaning good magic, and the black magic meaning evil magic. Apparently, some of y'all think I'm just making stuff up or I'm going along with some fake old narrative. So I'm about to explain to you in detail a little bit more, call it spoon feeding if you will. But I'm going to show you, if you know thyself, you're going to start having more faith in your destiny, in the stars. Okay? For you are the lighthouse within a dark body. The true you is the lighthouse within a dark body, the physical you, the animal. Okay? The goal that I want you to reach is to grow beyond the animal, okay? To go into the light. Okay, so these people, they used our ancestors' amulets of power. This is the reason why they have power now in our realm today. Okay? The reason they have this power is because they are using and in possession of our sacred ancient amulets of power. From Re, the living power. Remember, I spoke about King Solomon being the wisest king and wizard of his era. He and his rings of power and his temple, his magical temple and seals gave him power over and mastery over both demons and angels alike, but ultimately was destroyed by the demons. Solomon had divine spiritual protection from the Most High because he had the Ark, okay, which you guys know as the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? And the Ark of the Covenant was first introduced in ancient Kemet. It was from ancient Kemet, which had, and I'm gonna learn you more, which had unimaginable power, which can destroy, it can fertilize the land, all right? It can bring forces of life or destruction. It can bring rain, it can bring vegetation, or it can bring thunderstorms, tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, total eruptions, total destruction, life or death, okay? And not only that, it was also rumored that the owner or the person in possession of the Ark of the Covenant became very wealthy and was protected by the Most High himself, the Most High Spirit. Hence the reason why the Ark of the Covenant was called the mercy seat, because they had the power of mercy to forgive the owner for any wrongdoings, for any transgressions on earth. See, this is how they keep themselves from being out the loop of being judged, because they have our secret amulets and things that protects them as long as they have the amulets. Okay, and what they are doing is they are saving all these different amulets and stuff so they can usher in the Antichrist, okay, and give all these powerful tools to that one. The Ark is real, but the origin of the Ark is from ancient Kemet. This is why Freemasons try to reenact or emulate my ancestors' temples and their ceremonies within their lodges. The ancestors in Kemet had a powerful ceremony called the Procession of Shrines, which is depicted on the temple walls itself and is mentioned in the Rosetta Stone. Okay? One of the Kemetic shrines showed the Ark. This is from the Freemasonic Lodge of Education quote, and I quote, all right? Sometimes the Ark would contain symbols of life and stability. Sometimes the sacred beetle, which in ancient Kemet symbolized the sun, okay? And there was always a representation of two figures of goddesses, theme of truth and justice. Goddesses of Ma'at, which we call angels, okay, of truth and justice, hung over the Ark, which overshadowed the Ark with their wings. Why do you think the Catholics of today and Christians of today still say amen? It's not amen. It's not amen. It's amen. All right. And with the power of the sun, it was Ray, Amen Ray, because of the rays of life, the true living power behind the sun, Ray's power. This is a question, a Q&A from the Masonic Lodge of Education, and I quote: Why is the Ark of the Covenant so important to both mankind and Freemasonry? The answer is, not only does the Ark give the owner unimaginable power, but it literally houses God's power of mercy. It grants its user mercy for their transgressions. Hence, this is why it is called God's mercy seat. And again, it is the reason Solomon was able to build his powerful magical temple. Okay? This is an excerpt I'm going to read from the education of the Freemasons, from the Freemasonic Lodge, and I quote: We Freemasons spend an enormous amount of time ritualistically doing rituals, physically, meaning real works, they live what they do, and symbolically, signs and symbols, learning about King Solomon's temple, and have grown to symbolically treat the symbols of the Ark of the Covenant as equally as we treat the mosaic pavement. Okay, so this is the mosaic pavement. I continue. Denoting good and evil on the floor of the temple. See what I said? This is what the wizards do. All right, the wizards and the warlocks. They use the symbol of the mosaic pavement, which is here, the black and white checkerboard, denoting good and evil, to cast spells and do their witchcraft, and they play amongst their rules. Either they're with the light for a season or dark, depending on who the person is. The lodge room emulates King Solomon's temple. We bow to King Solomon's wisdom, but we circumambulate around God's words. So they tiptoe around God's words, playing along the fields of the Most High's checkerboard in this game of life. Okay? So they dance around the signs and symbols and words of God to play God within the checkerboard floors, is what they're saying. Okay? And I keep going. So, to fully feel and absorb the light, they want to be God, is what they're saying. We must not forget why Solomon's temple was built. Basically, they're saying to you that we must not forget why it was built. It was built so we can be the masters of both forces of dark and light. What they're literally saying is to become gods their self. They have to walk that path of Freemasonry, okay? And then the light that they're actually going is not of the light, but of the other light, the false light. Okay? They're literally saying that They are slick because what they are saying is, yes, our ancestors were good people and powerful, but it is only because of God's all power over dark and light that they were mighty in the light. But we can also use dark forces and play within God's rules as long as you know how to play within God's rules. And through the mercy of God, we can be forgiven because they symbolically have the ark. All right, the low-level blue-collar witches and initiates have the symbol of the ark, but the higher-ups, which people call the illuminated ones, they have the real ark. Okay, so now I'm about to get into Meek Mills and his new album called, remember, the name of this album is called Expensive Pain. All right, so boom, automatically you see the ark. People, this is not a naked woman. They're trying to do that on purpose, but they're showing you the ark, just like the McDonald's ark. They go to ark or the arch in Freemasonry. All right, all Freemasonry signs. There's the blue chakra and the red chakra, which they control through the checkerboard mosaic floor of magic, of dark and white magic. Okay, they have the sexual energy, and they have your mental energy, the blue and the red, like I always say. Now he's crying. Why? Because this is a calendar, a ritualistic calendar for witchcraft. I'm gonna show you why he's crying, because this is what he went through in 2 witches' years. The X, the plant, the tree of life, the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, the sun and the moon type stuff, and then you have the tree on fire, because he's doing a witchcraft. Now these circles, pay attention to these circles as well. Now I showed you the Masonic arch right there. They're doing it. Okay, now these dice, it says 8 on there. You see the 4 and the 4 makes 8. Okay, now count how many spokes is in the wheel. 3, 6, 8. 3, 6, 8. What people don't know is these are 2. He's a witch, man. These wheels are what you call the wheels of the year, and he has 2 years on here, signifying the 2 sets of years. Okay, this is a witchcraft sign right here. Okay, for Wiccans and witches both. The wheel of the year, and it's 8 sabbats, witches festivals. Wiccan or witches calendar used in modern witchcraft, right? The wheel of the year symbol of the 8 sabbats, witch festivals, which is 4 solar festivals and 4 seasonal festivals, celebrating or marking a significant seasonal change in one's life, right? So Ween, which is I'm gonna go over the witches calendar and the witches holy days, okay, which is flexible during the year, from year to year. All right, so October 31st is called Samhain. All right, October 31st, meaning summer's end, marking of the end of the season of light and the beginning of the season of darkness. The Halloween practice is a modern day observance of Samhain, October 31st, which is called in ancient times the mischief night. Samhain is a time when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest. This was known as an in-between, a time in which the dead could move more easily into the realm of the living, because the nighttime is when the powers of spirits are at its most potent. Okay, so you have Samhain, which is October 31st, and these months are usually when you see a lot of blood sacrifices or a lot of child kidnappings, you know, Amber Alerts and all that stuff. Remember my other videos, I showed you about these Amber Alerts coming around these times I'm about to say right now. But they have a calendar for witches, you know, so they have Samhain, which is October 31st, Yuli, which is December 20th to the 25th, Imbolc, which is the 1st of February to the 2nd of February, Ostara, which is the 20th of March to the 23rd of March, Beltane, which is 30th of April to the 1st of May, Letha, which is 20th of June to the 22nd of June, Lung Nasad, Lung Nasad, which is August 1st, and Mabon, which is September 20th to the 23rd. These are all holy witch days that they do ritualistic ceremonies, all right? Okay, so these represents his 2 years, these or his seasonal changes, all right, twice. And what he's learned through it all, for the money and the females, this is the outer view, what he's showing you. He had to go through the pain. Remember, this is called expensive pain. He's paying for it. There's his shadow. There's the shadows. All right. The shadow is also associated with the soul, but you can't put the soul there because it'll start getting too obvious. So you put the shadow version. All right. See, it's being burned. All right. You see the tree, the cars, the money. The money sign is actually a Freemason sign too. All right. You have the mosaic checkerboard floor for good and evil magic, and the path that he walked is literally of fire. You have the arch, but they put the naked women there. Why? Because it's to hide the Freemasonry aspect and the witchcraft aspect of it. But it still denotes the evil he's using. He's using the black magic on the mosaic floor, okay? That's why he shows the naked women, because they have your through ruling your sexuality and your mind. They are playing you on the checkerboard floors. Remember, these artists are actually initiates in Freemasonry and other occult systems of witchcraft. They literally go to lodges with their albums, their producers, and their worshipful masters, and they do rituals on the checkerboard floors trying to emulate Solomon's temple. Okay? There's the trees of knowledge he has in the back. Okay? They have rule over your mind and your sexuality. That's why they show the naked women and all this, and this is what he's into and falling for. All right? He's going over the witch's calendar, all right? The wheel of the year. This is a 2-year period right here. I believe it's 1 year and 1 year, I think. And the X stands for witchcraft with the color red and all that. I'm telling you, they're all witchcraft and Freemasonry, man. So the May the Most High Creator all bless us. I be showing a lot of things, man. It be going over y'all heads, but somebody catching on to it. May the Most High bless us.